I'm Rory Metcalf, Program Director of International Security at the Lowy Institute. I'm going to talk about how changes in the nature of war could have unexpected consequences in the decades ahead. The good news is that economic globalisation is making war less likely. But the bad news is that war between major powers remains possible, especially in Asia. And global connectedness would make conflict all the more economically damaging were it to occur. Armed force remains the ultimate sanction in interstate politics. Many defence budgets are increasing, and in some places, especially China and India, new wealth means new weapons. But the nature of war is changing. It's marked by asymmetry. Conventional combat is becoming more high-tech, high-speed, precise, and potentially less lethal. But weaker players like terrorists are responding with unconventional tactics. Improvised and suicide bombings are becoming more common, more indiscriminate, and more deadly. So Western armies must re-armour. Superiority on the 21st century battlefield will come from continuing advances in technology, precision, stealth, speed, and intelligence. Within decades, new breakthroughs could reach battlefield use. Materials using nanotechnology would be lightweight and ultra-strong, and unmanned aircraft will be commonplace, including in combat. Technology to know thy enemy, information networks for intelligence, command and control, will be vital. This often needs satellites, so countries will make anti-satellite weapons like a Chinese missile tested in 2007. New military technology and the lucrative business it brings will not spread equally among states. The United States will retain its lead with a massive research and development base. Russia will need foreign sales to fund its weapons research. But its best customers, China and India, will make advanced arms for themselves. Meanwhile, Europe's share of the market could shrink. Some new technologies with military uses will spread fast, even to poor states. Anyone can buy commercial satellite imagery. But turning new technology into effectively networked military force will stay a problem for most countries. And here the US and its allies remain ahead. But one weakness of Western countries is public worry about casualties. Enemies will try to exploit this to win wars, even as they lose battles. The human factor still counts. Quality of personnel matters more than numbers. Technical competence, political and language skills, and good old-fashioned resourcefulness will all be at a premium. Finding and keeping good recruits will be hard. And private security firms, which have burgeoned in Iraq, siphon talent and bring controversy. Amidst all this change, nuclear weapons will stay a major factor in power relations among states. Their main role will remain deterrence. But some countries see nuclear weapons as tools for coercion or prestige. Sadly, recent events suggest that nuclear disarmament remains a forlorn hope. All the nuclear-armed powers are updating their arsenals. Still, the spread of nuclear weapons is unlikely to be rapid. Fears will probably stay focused on Iran and North Korea, and the possibility of the use of nuclear weapons will remain small but real. Of course, terrorist use of a nuclear weapon is one of the most horrifying threat scenarios for the US and other Western states, but the probability of this will remain low. No matter what, when planning business and investments, the risks posed by the threat or the use of force won't disappear. Terrorist violence could strike in unexpected places and ways. Still, states and businesses will factor many terrorism risks into their decisions. And business has some power to influence how states see or handle security risk. For instance, the decision by Lloyd's of London in 2005 to term the Malacca Strait a war risk area helped to spur the governments of that region to cooperate against piracy. And in 2002, a fall in confidence among Western investors helped to persuade India to ease its war threats against Pakistan. It's also worth remembering that more media coverage does not mean more war. There's actually historic peace among the major powers, and the number of civil wars and of their casualties is actually falling. So here at the Lowy Institute, we're doing research on how militaries, especially China's and India's, might become focused more on peaceful purposes that help us all, like UN missions, disaster relief, and the protection of sea lanes.